Isn't it wonderful that God speaks to us in our own language, in our hearts and in our minds? We don't need to have it translated. When we know God, He's in us, and He guides us, comforts, encourages. Well, go ahead and, oh, it's already up there. Waiting for a miracle. We've all been in a place where we were waiting for a miracle. A health crisis, a job loss, some kind of financial crisis, a car accident. Just a few weeks ago, I don't know if we shared you with this, but just as we were leaving to go on vacation in the US and Canada, our son had a car accident. It wasn't his fault and he wasn't hurt. Then, less than a week later, about a day after we arrived, he had a second accident, not his fault again, with his work truck. Somebody back-ended him at high speed. And so in 1 week, he had 2 car accidents. Then a week later, our daughter was driving back to university and hit a coyote. If you know what a coyote is, it's like a small wolf, kind of a mid-sized dog, and ruined her front bumper, and wasn't hurt. So right away, 3 miracles. So there were no injuries in those 3 accidents, and that was wonderful. But then our son is still looking for a new car weeks later, and our daughter is still waiting for a new bumper. Your grandpa is looking for one of those and hoping to find one. But waiting is hard. We don't like to wait. You know, especially little ones. There were probably some that maybe opened some gifts this morning, being Christmas morning. And, you know, the last few days, as they see those gifts, and they're waiting anxiously and anxiously, it's like it's so hard for them to wait. They see those shiny things under the tree, and they know that something's there that they hopefully wanted. But they want it now. But they can't have it now. They have to wait. But we have to wait, and it's worthwhile. It's one of those things that it doesn't seem like it at the time, but Joseph and Mary had to wait. They were given the news by angels, but they still had to get on the donkey and head to Bethlehem from Nazareth. They had to wait. It doesn't tell us, maybe Jesus was a preemie, I doubt it. But if he went full term, they had to wait 9 months. It was still a natural thing. They had to wait. Then we had more characters in the story that had to wait. The wise men. Scholars think that it was probably 2 or 3 years after Jesus was born that they finally got there. And they had to travel. It's interesting, we were in Oman just last week, and Oman and Northeast Africa, Somalia, Eritrea, that's where frankincense comes from. So we don't know, but they think a lot of the frankincense that the wise men brought probably came from Muscat or Salalah, somewhere in Oman. So the wise men traveled across much of the Middle East. They may have passed within miles of Dubai, picking up stuff as they went. Maybe they stopped at, Malabar's to get some gold. I don't know where they got their gold. But they took the gold and the frankincense and they were waiting the whole time. Took them 2 or 3 years. Herod, he had to wait. He heard about this, and I think he was scared. Somebody said there's going to be a new king, a new leader, a new Messiah. And he's like, okay, is somebody going to assassinate me? What's going to happen? He doesn't know what's going on, so he's waiting. The shepherds, busy working at night, watching their sheep. Nighttime, the most dangerous time to watch the sheep. But nighttime is when the angels came to them and said, okay, leave your sheep and go. They're like, no, we have to stay with the sheep. And finally, the nation of Israel, the entire part of the world, was waiting for a Messiah. And some recognized him when he got here. Some didn't. But all of those have corresponding passages. We talk about the nation of Israel from Isaiah 9. They were waiting for a Messiah. Go ahead and. But waiting is profitable for us. As uncomfortable as it is, waiting is profitable for us. And I had to do some Googling, but I found out this eagle, you might see one here. These eagles are called steppe eagles, and they do their nesting and breeding up in Russia and Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, but they fly through here on their way to Africa. They spend a lot of their time in Africa before they fly back to lay more eggs up in Russia. But they often fly through here. So I thought that was really, I'm a little bit of a bird guy, not too much, but a little bit. So I thought that was really interesting that these eagles are probably the ones that Isaiah talked about. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Now, I've seen quite a few eagles in North America. You know, eagles are symbols of the U.S., and eagles and falcons are symbols of this part of the world. But haven't seen one of these yet. I'm going to start watching for one of these. But when we wait for God, what does He give us? He gives us strength. He gives us rest. The Bible story, the Christmas story tells us He brings us peace. He counsels us. He guides us. The government will be on His shoulders. And when I read that, I don't take that as the government of Dubai or the government of Abu Dhabi or the Emirates. I see that as all of the world's governments are under Jesus' control. When we see that, He governs the world. And wouldn't that be the case? Wouldn't that be so wonderful if today all of the leaders that we do have would submit to that? Just think what our world would look like. You think about the conflict right now across the Middle East, through Syria and Lebanon and Israel. And if all of those leaders would submit to God, that would stop. That conflict would stop. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Read that with me. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Think about that promise. And think and apply that to yourself. Go ahead and. But it's hard. It is difficult. I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in His word I do hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than those who watch for the morning. Yes, more than those who watch for the morning. Are you waiting on the Lord for something right now? Impatiently, maybe. Maybe you're better than me and you're patient when you wait. Are you tired? Are you weary? Are you struggling? Have you stumbled in some area? Have you perhaps fallen all the way down in some area? Wait on the Lord and hope in the Lord. He has promised to renew your strength. If you know this hope and are strong in the Lord, then thank Him for providing the strength you need to soar like that eagle we just saw each and every day. It's hard. Waiting is one of the hardest things I think humans do. When we are sick, if we get a diagnosis, we have an answer. We know what to do. We can be active and do something. But if we don't know and we're waiting for a doctor to tell us what's wrong, it drives us crazy. It's like, I need to know so that I can fix this. When financial troubles come, and we're like, where is the money going to come from? And we're waiting for a new job or whatever it might be, it drives us crazy. Waiting is so hard, but it's something that is so necessary. And when we wait and hope in God, He will bless us.